Hello, this is Yura Velasquez here, and I will be introducing Shopper, which is a new service by TraderJoes, and that will allow for easier checkout for their customers. About TraderJoes, TraderJoes is a small grocery store where people can buy food, what any grocery store would be. Their mission statement, quote, "It's not complicated. We focus on what matters. Great food plus great prices equals value." Quote. And that's been holding true. That's the biggest reasons why people always come back to Trader Joe's. Not only do they have great food, but they also have really great prices on them. Their target market is the educated buyer. It's the person that will look up reviews, they will look up pricing, they will look up how the product can affect them. So when talking about food, the better the better health that the better health value that it will provide, the better it's going to be for the customer. There's also the middle to upper class. Obviously, the ones that are spending a little bit more on money for the organic food and for higher quality products. And then the health conscious. So it goes back to the previous point, the educated buyer. They are making sure it's organic. They're making sure it's great for their bodies, and that's what they're trying to do. And they're trying to save money as well. Um, what's also great about Trader Joe's is people trust their brands. Um, 80% of what they stock inside the store carries their brand, and they will supply that specific product under the Trader Joe's branding. This is an example, or they're an example of succeeding without social media. If you look up Trader Joe's on Facebook or on Twitter, it's just going to be customers talking about them. They don't have a specific account. The accounts that they are available are all going to be made by customers that really like Trader Joe's. So why Trader Joe's? The majority of Trader Joe's customers are under 24 to 44 years old. That's going to be the main demographic for people that are going to be using their smartphones more nowadays. Their basket size or how many items they're putting per purchase are very popular in the pantry stocking, so 21 plus items, which means that they're there to get groceries for throughout the week. But there's an opportunity as well in the express lane, which would be 3 to 10 items. And that's what Shopper is trying to go ahead and capitalize on those specific opportunities. Their basket price on average was $43.70, which sort of goes more into the average of the whole express lane opportunities. Um, with the integration with Shopper and Trader Joe's, it will just be easier to shop, and then that way we can capitalize on those opportunities about the express lane. The other great thing about Shopper itself is it will keep data for more accurate marketing analytics to better see what products are selling, what products are not selling, what we can do to change that so we can go ahead and create more sales and more revenue. A little bit more about Trader Joe's. Again, their main customer is that educated buyer. So they want to know what they're buying before they buy it. They want to make sure it's the right product and they wouldn't mind comparing to other places. So with now you have Whole Foods and Wegmans, and there are a lot of local groceries around their specific area that they have to go ahead and compete. So the educated buyer is one of the more harder targets to go ahead and take a look at. What's nice about Trader Joe's is their mom and pop image. So when you walk in, you have their employees at a very another great thing about Trader Joe's is their mom and pop image. When you walk in, you sort of have this feeling of a local shop as the different furniture that's there, the different vibe that you get from entering from the employees. That's what you get out of Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's believes in paying more to their employees for better support on them, which then equates for better customer service. One of the biggest, or if not the only thing that Trader Joe's does for marketing or advertising is the Fearless Flyer, which is an email and a mail newsletter. That newsletter there contains stories of customers with Trader Joe's. It contains more. Uh, it contains information about new products that they're going to be coming out for the season, products, and their stories behind them. And a lot of people look forward to these newsletters. If you go back to their social media and you look them up, most of the Trader Joe's posts have to come down to their Fearless Flyer, people talking about that. So a lot of people are looking for this type of content on their own newsletter. And then 80% of the stock is using the Trader Joe's branding. So a lot of their like core products are going to be using the Trader Joe name underneath it. The reason why is they will contact the supplier, they will sell it under their name to subsidize the cost. That way, consumers pay less for that product. So, what is Trader Joe's marketing strategies? As I stated before, they have no social media, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, nothing like that. They believe just on the word of mouth and the quality of products. Their only advertising is a fearless flyer. In 2016, they had a $15.7 billion revenue, which is big, and it's been growing comparing to what's going on with Whole Foods and the Amazon acquisition, and Wegmans becoming one of the more popular, and with Wegmans becoming the number one consumer rated grocery store. One of the great things about Trader Joe's is that they lead in profit margin in their market, comparing it to Whole Foods, to Wegmans, to any other local grocery stores with a 2.8% profit margin for everything they sell. The acquisition of Whole Foods from Amazon has not been good to Trader Joe's as they've dropped 2.7% annually from what they made on 2015 to 2016. And I think that will be going into more, and I think that will go ahead and drop lower if Trader Joe's doesn't do something to shake up that that to shake up what Amazon has to do, to shake up what Amazon has to bring. So the acquisition of Whole Foods from Amazon has not been good for them. They've dropped 2.7% annually on their revenue, and it's projected they're going to keep on dropping unless they do something to change up what they're doing. If Shopper can go ahead and create that sort of the same consumer style shopping that Whole Foods and Amazon plan on bringing in, they can definitely capitalize on that. What is Shopper for Trader Joe's? Shopper for Trader Joe's is a new way of learning about products, seeing sales prices and seeing the price on them, and checking out just straight from your smartphone. That is the biggest feature on Shopper. Being able to go ahead and scan a barcode, add it to your cart, and keep on shopping and browsing. Be able to pick up items, scan the barcode, see reviews of what other customers are saying, see any coupons or sales that the customer can go ahead and take advantage of. But also, once they're done, just quickly check out from their smartphone and be good to go and straight out the way. And that would be just a regular application that'd be available on the Google Play Store, even in the App Store, because being able to be available on both is going to be a necessity. The reason why Shopper works great with Trader Joe's is due to the millennial and the middle aged consumers that are tech savvy and educated that also shop with Trader Joe's. Most of those customers are going to see the convenience of just being able to scan and go. Um, since Trader Joe's, on a sample size of about 500 consumers, 30% of those checking out were 10 items or less. So being able to just quickly go inside the store, pick up what they want, and leave is going to be great for the customer. One of the biggest complaints that customers have on any retail store is a checkout line, especially on grocery stores. If you need to go pick up something before you go home on that 5 o'clock drive, there are going to be other people doing the same exact thing, which makes it seem longer and make it so people would rather just go ahead and order on Amazon Pantry or go ahead and just not buy it. Creating Shopper for Trader Joe's will go ahead and allow them to capitalize on that specific market. And the way to measure it, Shopper wants to create in that first year a 5% increase of those checking out with 10 items or less, while still keeping the other percentages at the same rate, meaning that that the meaning that the objective that Shopper has for Trader Joe's is working and they can go ahead and implement it a little bit, meaning that it is working for Trader Joe's. The action plan for Shopper is very simple. let their shoppers know about Shopper via their fearless flyer. There are people wanting this type of content that a lot of other companies would go ahead and die for. People are waiting days and people wait in their mailbox to go ahead and get this flyer, this little newsletter that contains the little stories, more information about products. People are really into that. So what we can do for that is we can include coupon codes to add more incentives to download from the very first start, a QR code for people to take a quick picture so they can start downloading the app. Nowadays, most smartphones on their own camera app allow the feature where you can go ahead and just scan a QR code and take you to that specific website. And a specific website will be the call to action to go ahead and upload directly to go ahead and start downloading that application. I also think that a I also think that a perfect customer interaction will come down to the initial contest that will allow customers to upload a picture through Shopper and create a story and then have it feature on Fearless Flyer to have a customer interaction back and forth with the actual newsletter will create more of a bonding and will create a more branding background for that specific contest. And the contest winner can win nice amount of prizes, but also for others just create more on Fearless Flyer and also on Shopper. The short-term acquisition for Shopper is incentives for referrals on the application. A simple 15% off on your next Shopper order with a referral of a friend and join Shopper is a perfect incentive for people to go ahead and start sharing the app and sharing it around so people can buy at Trader Joe's and just go ahead and use Shopper for the next purchase. One thing that is a little bit different is the paid advertisements on social media. Since this is an application, I do believe the best way to go ahead and spread word of this app will be through advertisements on social media, Facebook and Twitter being the biggest social media to go ahead and target that and target the same demographic that we've been targeting before. So the middle age or also the millennials, so they can go ahead and know about Shopper. Even though Trader Joe's has not done social media, I do think this will be a great win for the actual application Shopper. Digital marketing tactics. So Shopper will actually create a database of customers and their purchases. This will allow the customers to see what they purchased last and allow them to do a quick pickup. That way they can say, I really like this product, and they go ahead and buy it again. The other things that the database can create will be more accurate numbers on the value of the basket, more accurate numbers of what is selling. That way we can go ahead and map the store a little bit better for quick pickups to go ahead and be added onto the store. And then see what products are having better retention and which one's having the least bounce rate. What that means is people that are picking up the product, scanning the actual UPC, and then not putting it in their cart and seeing which one has the most amount of bounce rate so we can understand what that product is doing wrong. So then we can go ahead and add a better product on the shelf to not go ahead and repeat that and have less products just stand in the shelf itself. And also the ones that are having better retention. So the ones that are selling a little bit more, you'll be able to see what is the demand like, how many more do we need in a specific store. That way we'll never be out of stock. How will we know if it's working? A good metric to know with any application is knowing the amount of downloads the application has. Meaning that how many people are actually downloading Shopper onto their phones. Once we've known how many people actually download Shopper, we can then understand the monthly activities of the application. We want that number to keep a steady rise and not decline. That way we know that people are actually using the application on their phone when they're going into a Trader Joe's to shop for their groceries. The other great thing to note would be the session rate and the time that the customer is using the application. It works both ways. Knowing how long the customer is on the app, how long the customer is looking at reviews, and then looking how long the customer is actually inside of Trader Joe's. That way we can get a better understanding of what the customer goes through and what the customer is thinking about with their maps and how they're going throughout the store. That way we can get better layouts, and then we can have and then we can have the correct product right in front of them at the correct time. And then the retention rate, which is very important. How many people are actually using the app compared to those that just had the app downloaded? We might have gotten a large amount of downloads on the application thanks to the referral codes, but how many people are actually using that? That's also going to be a key metric to understanding if the application is working. On the money side of Shopper, we also want to know what percentage of sales are being done on Shopper instead of checkout. Again, the goal is to increase by the first year 5% of the express lane checkout lines are being done to rise that five. The percentage of sales that are being done on Shopper instead of checkout will be the best money, will be the best evaluation because then we can tell because the goal for Shopper was to increase the express lane to 5% from 30%, meaning that 35% of all the checkouts in Trader Joe's are being done as a quick pickup. That way, that meaning that Shopper is actually working. The other thing to note will be the revenue sold on Shopper. I think this is just a given. Being able to tell how much we've actually made on the app and how much it's going to go ahead and make for us. The last thing will just be acquisition cost on the customers for Shopper. We have the referral code for about $15. We have the different coupons. We have the different advertisements we have to pay for. And then we would have to factor in those costs and see how much it's costing us for customers to stay on Shopper. We want this one to be as low as possible. We want this to be as low as possible because one of Trader Joe's things is to keep their prices low, which means that they have to bring their costs low. That way the consumer and the company can both win. So to stay inside of Trader Joe's own branding, it is very necessary for the acquisition cost to be very low. And that's going to be Shopper for Trader Joe's. I think this is a great idea for grocery stores to start getting on, specifically on Trader Joe's, since every other grocery store is looking up to them before, and now they're getting on the same level as them as far as cost and as far as quality of products. So now Trader Joe's has to do something to go ahead and shape up the market for them to stay on top.